I love that little surprise there. Both of our faces were...
It sounds nice.
That was actually really cool. Hello, my name is LNA, or LNA Does Audio Stuff, and I am a music producer, musician, and creative coach who's just written a book about creative confidence and music production. I am here at ROLI's today, and I have ROLI Piano and ROLI Airwave in front of me. This is the first time I'm trying this. So I am making a track in 10 minutes here with you right now. I'm gonna be given questions about creative confidence from John from ROLI.
Hi.
Who's hiding behind the camera. While I'm making a track in 10 minutes, I'm trying to prove a point that there is no failure in creativity. So I am working through my fears and doing a track in 10 minutes for you guys. So should we get started? And I'm gonna put 10 minutes on my clock right now.
Let's go.
I'm gonna just start with some kind of bass line. I did cheat a little bit and put already a instrument here that I liked, so. Okay, let's. Cinematic. It's kind of cool. Okay, we're gonna start with that. Whew.
Nice. So the thing which a lot of people struggle with is getting started.
Yeah.
So the whole kind of idea about having a blank page in front of them, you know, playing that first note becomes actually so much pressure behind it because of all of the weight of expectation and the gravitas that people put behind what they're about to create. So how would you advise people to be a little bit more natural and a little bit more kind of in the moment in terms of their creation?
I honestly just think that one of the most practical and the most simplest way is to forget your goals for a moment. Just forget that where you're not going to become famous with this track. You're not trying to impress anyone. You're not trying to do something. You're just there, you, instrument, and you're just playing and you're trying to get back enjoyment because this is supposed to be fun. And I think we sometimes forget that because we're so nerding about all this kind of fun stuff and all this equipment, and we just need to find the enjoyment. And sometimes having 10-minute deadline is actually a perfect technique for it because you can't make a hit song in 10 minutes.
In theory, that makes complete sense, but it actually probably is quite hard because, you know, all of the theory goes out of the window actually when your emotions kick in.
Yeah.
So how would you advise people to kind of like deal with the emotions, the fear, the anxiety, the worry, the expectation?
I think the first point is for you to understand where does it all come from. When you can recognize what are you feeling and why is it happening, then you can actually do something about it. So example, I'm in London, I'm in ROLI's doing this in 10 minutes and I can feel very imposter. I can who am I here to talk about this stuff and who am I to do any of this? But I recognize that's called imposter syndrome. I recognize that I can feel it because, you know, maybe I feel that I don't deserve to be in this kind of space. But because I can recognize that in myself, I can also tell myself, I do recognize, you know, I have quite okay CV to prove that I know my shit and I know what I'm doing. And I've, you know, studied that for 5 years and I've written a book about it. And, you know, I feel like that is fair. So recognize and then learn to talk to yourself in a way that takes away all that away, if that makes sense.
It makes sense. Perfect.
Takes away the things away.
We probably eat into a couple of minutes of our creation time. So
I know.
Crack on
we
and
have
make
6 minutes, 6 minutes, okay. So we had a bass thing, so I thought let's put some chord melody maybe on the top. bit of a vibe, isn't it? That's very cinematic.
I like it. It's got a nice mood to it. I suppose, you know, a lot of people kind of when they're talking about their music careers or creative careers, they talk about making it a lot.
Yeah.
Which is obviously kind of a big lofty goal and very difficult to achieve. So what would you kind of say to people who, you know, want to be creative, but, you know, they never feel like they can reach the goal of making it?
I think the biggest thing you need to ask for is, why do you want it? And what is it that you actually want? What is making it? What does it mean to you? Because when you say it now here to me, I think we have a common understanding, like what is making it. It's defined streams, money, exposure, you know, it's all these global things that we think is success, and it's very generalized. But humans are unique and we have our own passions and our interests and our own path. Like, not everybody is made to do this or that. You need to figure out what is it that you want and what is good for you, and then go for that. Create a plan, create a very clear goal for yourself of where are you now, where do you want to be, and what are the steps to go there. And I call that a workflow. So there's workflows for your life, there's workflow for creativity, for music, whatever. There's a whole chapter in my book about workflows and the power of workflows. For example, something that I use all the time is time limitation, is a structure for a workflow. And adding example 10 steps. So now we example added bass first, then we added chords. So after that you could add melody line, then vocals, then arrangement, you know, like you can basically number yourself a map. So you start with that, continue that. And all these steps are gonna lead you to the goal. I wanna make a techno track. First, kick, bass, snare, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. If you follow them, you will have a techno track in the end. That's how it works. And you can use it as a guideline, and if you get inspired, you don't need to use it anymore, but when you get blocked, you go back to the instructions that you've given to yourself. And that is one of the most powerful things that you can use.
Very nice. So what's next next on our creation template here?
I wanted to have a look that if there's like a little bit something different kind of material on the top.
There's one called a dimensional orchestra, which are going to give you like a bit of a
dimensional
vocal choir
ooh.
Vibe.
Oh. Yes, thank you. We're gonna go with that. Let's have a look. I love that little surprise there. Both of our faces were.
It sounds nice.
That was actually really cool.
How are we doing for time?
We have 43 seconds, 42 seconds.
So no pressure. But I suppose
it's ready already.
People talk about, you know, struggling to finish tracks. You obviously now have finished your track.
Of course, I have, yes.
But what would you advise people kind of when they're really struggling to finish things and wrap a bow on everything?
I think you need to remember that to take a step back and to remind yourself that firstly, you don't need to like everything that you make. You really don't. There's no artist in the world who would like every single thing that they make. Even the biggest artists there, they don't love everything. Not everything that they make is a masterpiece. Just accept that whatever has happened, happened. Take it, okay, now it's, and then just accept that it's done and then move on. That's it. That's honestly it. I feel we need to just embrace creativity and not judge it. And finish your tracks and then decide what to do with afterwards. You don't need to decide in the moment. You don't need to make a masterpiece. Just finish tracks, get them out.
Where can people find out more about creative confidence? Where can they learn more about this?
You can find more of my book, Creative Confidence and Music Production, Overcome Your Insecurities, and from my YouTube channel called LNA Does Audio Stuff. So there is workflow videos, there's a lot of tutorials for exactly all this kind of thing. And I actually make a couple tracks in there in 10 minutes as well. And I'm publishing one of them soon. So you can make really cool things in 10 minutes. But the fact is that this is our third time filming this. And the first 2 times, this is like breaking the fourth wall. First 2 times, I did not like what I created, but I was also feeling quite a lot of shame about it. And I was thinking like, you know, it's so that need to please and impress is so strong. And you know, this is not ready. This is not something final, but it's inspiration. And you know, sometimes you just need to trust the process and feel that, again, accept that what's happened happens, and it's your creativity. It's just part of the, well, we're just human.
Love it. Well, what
That's a good
happened
end.
just happened. So let's wrap it there. And thank you so much. Really appreciate you coming by.
Thank you so much.